Hey everyone, welcome back, hope you're well. Day 14-ish I think we've run into. We haven't worked for a couple of days after the last video we had about 5 mil, give or take, around the place. Weather hasn't really cleared up since. It's still pretty hot and humid, sticky. The wind's sort of trying to blow today, and it is overcast again. Anyway, it's making sort of hard work of it at the moment. Brother-in-law next door, he stripped a sample about half past 11, and it was about 14.5%, so we need to get that back down under 12.5% before we can deliver any. So yeah, we'll just wait and see what the afternoon brings. We might give it another hour or so and have a crack at it and just yeah, see where it's at. So yeah, we ducked away for a couple of days, Sarah and I. So we're Sunday today. We had to go, and I've been talking about picking these concaves up to try and play with this rotor loss issue I've been talking about to you. So yeah, we went up and picked the concaves up and just caught up with some friends and had some dinner and a few beers last night. So it was, yeah, good to have a night away and a bit of a spell. So, but anyway, so this rotor loss issue. This is the current configuration of modules we're running. So these ones at the back here are called what they call a skip module. What we've got now is this gizmo, so it's completely sort of different design to what's in there. And fella Rod Gribble, who some of you may know of, the guys that are sort of in the industry may know of Rod. Yeah, he's been playing with headers since Noah was first stripping crops, so a fair while. And yeah, he's come up with this design just to try and rectify the issue with rotor loss. So what we've got, we've got some round bar welded on there as well. Excuse me, I just sneezed. So these plates are actually, he's given me these two that he's already had made up to try, but what we've got, so we've got some bare plates that what we'll do is we've got some modules at home that we don't use, and I'll show you in time. But that plate's actually bisalloy, so it's a hardened steel, and then he's given us some 4140 bright bar, or whatever you want to call it, round bar. I think it's 10 or 12 mil bar, and we'll weld them on there. So but what he's thinking is the holes may not be quite big enough, so we might have to get the plasma cutter and just cut those holes a whisker bigger, but we'll yeah, we'll just see how we go. So there's a module that goes in each side. They are different lengths. I need to take the other side panel off here, but yeah, fingers crossed we can start and get a bit better capacity. Like, we're getting good capacity out of the machine now, but you know, we're running around at 50 and 60% engine load, so the machine itself's not really working that hard. So if we could pick another kilometre an hour up and, you know, load another 25% engine load, and especially when the weather's like it is, we need to get good capacity and good productivity out of the machines, because our harvest windows, you know, becoming narrower. Talking rain again Tuesday, Wednesday, so we're not going to get, if we can't get a sort of go at it today, we're only really going to get tomorrow, and it might be raining again. So yeah, we just need to, hopefully we can get a bit more capacity out of it, and sort of get things rolling a bit. But anyway, we'll get to and have a play around. We'll get these swapped out, and yeah, we might strip a sample and run one into town and just work out where we're at. just give you a bit of a look at what the rotor looks like. So they're the bars that do all the hard work. So you can see these ones have got a raised edge on them, so they call these a rice bar, and the guy at the front there, he's just got a flat edge, so these ones help with separation. Yeah, seem to work pretty well. Okay, so we've got it in. It's only, you would have just seen me undo the two. It's just got two bolts at the top there that holds them in, and then they've just got a couple of support bolts at the bottom there that they sit on. So that's the configuration now. She's a bit of a Frankenstein setup, but whether we run another one again, and that would let more out, you can just sort of, obviously you can see the difference there between what we were running and that, so we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, at the moment, fingers crossed it's going to help. So I have actually stripped a sample. It has probably halved the rotor loss by the monitor, so that's pretty cool. Actually, there was a bit of a gap there in the footage. When I was putting the concave in, Tony turned up and he's a bit camera shy and that, so I just it was just easy to turn the camera off. But yeah, we stripped a sample, ran it to 10, and we're still 15%, and we need to be 12.5. So we're not. She's no bingo today anyway, so we'll just spend the afternoon. It is Sunday, so I'll spend the afternoon. Got baling to do, so Brendan's moved the baler back down to where we've been baling, so we'll try and get a bit more of it done tonight. We've got very little left, which is great because everyone's about sick of hay. And hoping, we just had a look at the rice there before to see how trafficable it is. It's dry, so if we can get, I don't know whether this crop's going to go tomorrow. The wind is up now and it's warm, like it does sort of a bit clearer, the weather feels a bit clearer. But yeah, anyway, so we've got to decomp the boom spray. I've got it on the 516 on the little fence, so the isobus is working with it, which is good. So yeah, got to put a rinse through it, which I'll go and do now, and then I'm hoping we might be able to get it sprayed tomorrow, and we can take the big fent, which is here on the bin. We'll take it home in the morning and put the spreader back on and top dress the rice, and then if we do happen to get 50-60 mil in the next couple of days, we're sort of good to go with the water. We can start and put water on it full time, so we'll go to permanent water, what they call permanent water. So yeah, still enough happening, but this cropping harvest is just at a bit of a standstill at the moment. But I'm thinking this configuration, whether we get to, it probably won't happen tomorrow, but if we get a wet day Tuesday, I might get to and make those other sets up, and we'll try it with 2 of them in the back modules. And yeah, I think it's going to be like when we got out there, our rotor loss was half, and we were up a kilometre an hour, running a kilometre an hour quicker, kilometre half, 1.5 kilometres quicker. That sounds better. We're sort of from 4Ks up to 5.5, so it's heading in the right direction, and the sample in the box was still good. So one thing most of you have probably seen it, but that's actually the wheat in its raw form. If you haven't ever seen it before, yeah, we just take a sample like that to town, and they stick it in the machine, and yeah, it does its thing, checks for moisture and protein, but you can sort of feel it. The grain feels a bit doughy when you've been doing it for a while, and quite often what we'll do is just the bite test. You'll just bite a few grains, and it should be quite hard to bite, whereas it's a bit chalky and a bit doughy. So anyway, we'll put the covers back on this, and yeah, head home and yeah, get organised to go baling. Back baling. So that's a bit close, it's not going to focus for you. But anyway, plenty of humidity around, and yeah, not making for bad baling conditions. We've got, I don't know what's here, maybe 20 acres. There'll be a few bales here. It's pretty slow going. speedo on the tractor's not working, so I can't actually tell you how quick I'm going, but yeah, pretty big rows. Yeah, so we'll try and get this bit done, and then there's another, wouldn't be this, about half this area, it's only about another 10, I don't know, 8 hectares. We'll do it in hectares, I was going to say acres, but yeah, 8 hectares, 20 acres maybe, up the other end of the farm. So, and it's oats and ryegrass, this is cereal hay, so, or wheat and hay, so anyway, we're getting there, we're punching a few out. We've been going 15 minutes and we've done, what have we done? 16, 17, so yeah, it's a few here, it's punching. I don't know whether you can tell by with the track, you hear it in the background, but yeah, it's stuffing every stroke, so yeah, it's making pretty good bars. They're about 14%. I've got out and probed a couple, so yeah, we'll stick around here for a bit and try and get a few out and get it finished before this big dump of rain that's coming in a couple of days. So got the young Reese is coming out again tomorrow. He's gonna come out stacking, so we should be able to get it all stacked up for him. So yeah, it'll be good to get this job ticked off because it's been a bit of a marathon. All done down this end, so another 180 or something. It's about, what are we up to, about 10:45, so it's not too late. It has cooled down a lot. The pressure was starting to back off a bit, which generally means that the moisture's starting to come up. So, but we've just got about 10 or 12 acres, 7 or 8 hectares. That's what, anyway, a little bit to do up the other end, which we'll get in the morning. Sky's clear, there's not a lot of cloud around. It's quite cool actually. The wind's around the south here at the moment, so yeah, it's hard to believe I reckon it's gonna rain, but anyway, so not quite a full moon, but anyway, we'll knock off and we'll yeah, see you in the morning. Ta-da. Morning, sun shining. Hopefully might get a crack of this wheat crop today with a bit of luck. Pretty heavy dew, but anyway, sun's up, not a lot of breeze, so we'll just, yeah, suck it and see. Not too many others going, so we're not on our Pat Malone with yeah, with moisture. Anyway, so what we're going to do while we've got a bit of time is attack these things. So they're I've got 2 sets of them, I think I said, but we'll just convert one set of ours for the time being, and then we'll continue to use rod set, and then after harvest, when we're not so busy, we'll yeah, we'll do the other set, but it'll probably be before harvest next year the way it runs around here. So I'm just going to get the gas, and they've just got a stitch weld along each rib there, so I'm just going to get the gas and blow them off, and yeah, hopefully they come off without too much drama. I was going to try and run the GoPro while I was doing it, but the GoPro's flat, so yeah, we'll just charge it up and see how we go. But anyway, that's the plan. So I was able to get one done nearly. There's just a couple there, but we've run out of oxygen. So yeah, we might have to go back to old school grinder. I just tried to cut these couple in here, that on this second one, that you wouldn't get a grinder in there. So fingers crossed we can get at it with a grinder and cut these last couple, and it falls out. Fingers crossed. Not a good start. Because this stuff's so hard, it's not bent 100% right. So what I'm doing is I'm just going around and just clamping it. Got a bit of plate there at the back, you can see, and I'm just clamping it just to kind of close that gap up. And what's actually happening is it was a bit long here, but as I'm pulling it in to the right shape, it's shortening up, and hopefully that'll just, excuse me, should just pop in there in a minute. So it actually hasn't gone together too bad. That one, he's a bit better, but we've got a bit of a gap here. We'll have to pull him down. I think what will actually happen, we'll end up short at one end. So the rods we've got here, just got these bits of rod, so we might end up having to just stitch a rod along there just to fill that gap in. But yeah, not going to take too long. It's yeah, they're actually going together not too bad. And look, they're not. You can see where this one was welded on, like they didn't have bucket loads of weld on them. So yeah, we don't need to go nuts. Don't need to go nuts welding on. Yeah, so hopefully should go alright. Just talking to another neighbour who got going last night, but he's it was still high. He sent a truckload in this morning, and he was up over. They accepted it, but yeah, I think he was 12.9, something like that. So yeah, there's sort of no rush. We need to get it to come down before we can get a go at it, but there's sort of not a breath of wind, so it's not. We need the wind to get up at 15-20 k's just to try and blow dry it a bit to get it to dry. It's one down, so they've gone together pretty well. So now I just need to roll him over. I'm just going to let it cool down. Just don't want to get it too hot. And yeah, we'll roll it over and weld the bars across it. And yeah, we've just got to do that one, and we're happy days. Well, that's the finished result. We'll go and bang these ones in, and hopefully the moisture might be somewhere near it. Making hard work of it at the moment. We got going, still having a bit of trouble with moisture. We ran a sample to town, or my brother-in-law was going to town next door, so we threw a sample in with him, and we're 12.9. We need to be 12.5 or under. But what we're doing is we're just carting at home. We've got some aeration on some silos at home, so we're just gonna cart it back there, fill a silo at home, and look, hopefully, you know, another hour it'll be dry enough we can deliver a bit to town. The concaves have made a big difference, so we're up around that you know, 5.5-6 kilometres an hour. If you've been watching along the last ones, generally the loss monitor is, you know, up a bit further, probably twice that. So yeah, so we're getting, you know, we're sitting around that 40 tonne an hour most of the time. So it's, yeah, definitely what we're getting across per hour is increased. So yeah, and our losses have decreased. So it's sort of a pretty good combination at the moment. I have just tweaked the machine a little bit. I just closed that concave up a bit that I spoke about. Just brought it closer to the rotor, just so it's thrashing the grain a bit more. We were finding we were getting a bit of head in the sample that still had grain in it, hadn't been thrashed. So anyway, it's all going to plan bar the moisture, but it looks like it's going to be raining again by lunchtime tomorrow. So we're about 20 past 3 now. So we just made the decision we'll strip it. It's going to get a damn sight wetter if we're not careful. So we'll just try and get a bit done and try and get a bit undercover, and we can dry it or do whatever. We do have the capacity to dry it. We do have a silo at home that is a drying silo. So yeah, we just don't have enough storage, which is, you know, something we need to probably look at in the future. But yeah, anyway, we'll keep marching along now for a while. We're not going to probably be able to get too much done after dark. The moisture will come up again. So yeah, we'll just do what we can. And yeah, Brendan's got all the baling finished, I think. So and young Reese is down there stacking it up. So yeah, we're sort of starting to get a few of these contract jobs ticked off, which is good. But yeah, it'd be really good if the weather would bugger off and just clear up for us for a few days, or a couple of weeks really. You know, 2 or 3 weeks, and everyone would have a fair bit done. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll keep marching on. New paddock, new variety. So we're into our first block of a variety called Illabo. So this is one of the grazing varieties that we put the stock on through the year. We're sort of sitting around that. Haven't got much of the paddock done at the moment. Just bear with me, just try not to spill any. Yeah, we're sitting around that 4.5 tonne at the moment. Yeah, just opening the block up, but with the headlands and that. So fingers crossed it'll improve a little bit. The moisture on the first load out of the other paddock we sent to town was 12%. So we're laughing that way, and judging by the amount of dust that's kicking around, it's plenty dry enough. I suppose on these concaves, those that are sort of watching along, interested in them, I think we've picked up about 20% capacity out of the header, which is a fair bit in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, like both tonnes per hour and ground speed and look, monitors are generally sort of not misbehaving. They're sort of sitting pretty stagnant and that sort of thing. So yeah, and we're still, you know, we're not running at 100% engine load or anything like that. We're sitting around that, you know, 75-80% engine load. So yeah, well worth the exercise of doing it. It'll be interesting to see how they go when we get back home into a bit of irrigated stuff, and we do have a bit of contract irrigation stuff to do. So anyway, there's 25 hectares in this block. We'll sort of try and push and see if we can get it done tonight. It is cooling off. We're sort of already starting to turn down the air conditioner. So yeah, we'll just play it by ear. Hopefully Uber Eats will be here soon. So I'm not too sure what's on the menu tonight. Maybe a bit of beef stew and some rice, which will be pretty good too. So anyway, both trucks are running, contractor's back, and Russell's in our truck. So you shouldn't hopefully have too many issues keeping it away. Receivables are open till 2 AM again, which is really good. So they're sort of can see the weather forecast coming, and yeah, helping us guys out, staying open a bit longer so we can get rid of stuff. So anyway, onwards and upwards. Uber Eats is delivered again. Look at it. Not going to go hungry. Getting across this paddock pretty well. The machine seems to be behaving itself. Thank goodness for auto steer so you can eat and drive. Not sure how well you'll be able to see it, but the yellow dot there beside the reflection on the... Ah, it's not beyond the tree. Hang on. Yeah, probably you're not going to get all the effect, but yeah, big old moon coming up over the horizon there. Nearly be a full one, I reckon. We march on. All done out dry country. Yeah, pretty. It's a good little block to finish on. We've sort of stripped 120 odd tonne yeah, off sort of 25 hectares, so it's done sort of 5 tonne or better, which is really good. Yeah, just top the average up, and we come up a grade too. We're up to H2, yeah, which is a good one to finish on out here. So we'll mother bin's about full. Trucks are still coming, so we'll yeah, load them up, and yeah, we'll sort of pack everything up, and whether I get the front off now or whether we do it in the morning in the daylight, there's a fair bit of crap there. We probably need to blow that off. So, but yeah, anyway, we'll yeah, get home in the morning, and hopefully we can get a bit done in the morning before this rain comes.